Now, one brand that's really betting big on hybrids all over the world and is starting to do so here in India is, of course, Toyota. We've had the Prius and the Camry hybrid in the past, but now it looks like there could be a lot more coming. I had the chance to get that from the board member from Toyota, Tanada-san, who was visiting the expo. Here is an excerpt of that conversation. It is the first time that we're seeing a hydrogen-powered car at the Auto Expo. This is the fuel cell Mirai, and this is, of course, one of many displays here at the Toyota Pavilion. Joining me to speak about Toyota's strategy going forward is Mr. Kyoichi Tanada, who is the CEO for the Asia, North Africa, and several other markets as well. Thank you for speaking to us. It's a pleasure to have you with us on the channel, and I appreciate your time. It is looking like a very busy pavilion here at Toyota. I know the new Innova becomes perhaps the most important product for you.
Yes, of course. So fortunately, we can keep in number one position regarding this Innova segmentation. So I have a big confidence after we launch the new Innova. So we'll be able to keep number one position again.
Would there be value for you? There's been a lot of talk about how you might have, the existing Innova and this one selling alongside each other. Maybe this is more premium.
Yes.
Is that a strategy you would follow?
So fortunately or unfortunately, it has been taking around 11 years since we introduced current Innova. So we have to wait 11 years or 12 years for introduction of new model. It means we've been taking a lot of times for development of new models, which means new model is much more premium than current model. So we have a big confidence of new Innova, good design and good specification and affordable price for a customer in India.
You've had a fair amount of success with the Etios family.
Yes.
But there continues to be a requirement for yet another compact product. I know people keep asking this question, not just a car like the Vios or the RAV4, but seeing what's happening in the Indian market, the premium hatchbacks and the compact SUV are doing really well. How do you view that, and how ready is Toyota to get there?
So basically, in case of this market, with the expansion of total market size in India, and how we'll be able to match with the needs of customer with the increasing market size, and also we have to consider a new regulation of government here in India, like CO2 new regulation, or to beat with CAFE, or introduction of engine of Euro 5 or Euro 6, something. And finally, in order to meet with customer needs and government regulation or government requirements, we have to develop more passenger car. And maybe in near future, we'll introduce more passenger car lineup for here in India.
To talk about just where we've come already with this edition of the Expo and what it represents for the automobile industry, and in fact for all of us, are two special gentlemen. We've got both the President and the Director General of SIAM, the Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers, Vinod Dasari, and also with him Mr. Vikram Mathur. So of course the fact that it's a successful event is kind of obvious to us, but let's wait till it ends before we collate all that data, get all the stats on it. But the buzz is there, the excitement is there. Between the last one, and we all, as you know, as a community, the media loved the last one too, with comparison to the previous one. But what was a priority for you in terms of what needs to change, what should change?
I think there were several things that we learned from the last Auto Expo, and since that was the first time we actually moved from Pragati Maidan to India Expo Center here, it was a first for us. It came off as a truly world-class Auto Expo. There were quite a few constructive suggestions. For example, rather than have anybody go to any gate, there is numbered gates now so that people can go. This huge complex that you see, these were temporary structures last time. So we worked with India Expo Center to make these into permanent structures, and these are huge, I think 4 lakh square feet of pillarless buildings. It's truly world class. I think people used to always say that every time we do an Auto Expo, we used to benchmark other Auto Expos around the world. But there's nowhere in the world that you will get 100,000 visitors a day, and you still have to be able to manage this.
When it comes to this crowd management and the security that has to go with it, is that like a Herculean task for your team?
Well, it was definitely one of the big priorities, because the last time we really understood that this distance of 40 kilometers is not going to keep people away. And that was one big doubt put to rest, and we were quite happy about that. And we knew that this time there will be more number of people, if not the same at least.
But how many more were you expecting?
Well, according to the ticket sales that we had seen before the show began, we were expecting at least 20% more.
Wow.
So I think this time the priority was to improve the visitor experience, to improve the exhibitor experience, and to improve the overall feel-good factor when somebody comes here.
The auto industry has been more in, not just in the news, but under the spotlight, not just for the products as it usually is. So, and of course there have been certain controversial things as well, but in a way it's a good thing, because it is making the industry as well as the overall environment, that's not a pun, sort of move ahead, progress, better technologies and better systems, better products of course come out of that. Has that been again a sort of a backdrop to this expo this time? The fact that everybody's talking about emissions, they're talking about safety, we're talking about the road safety bill coming through. Mr. Gadkari was here yesterday also espousing the same thing. So is that doubly good for the expo, that there is so much attention on the industry?
See, auto industry, Siddharth, is not something you dream up today and you'll get a solution tomorrow. You have to give a clear roadmap. What is sad is the auto industry meets the roadmap, then suddenly somebody else comes and says this is banned. Wait a minute, we haven't done anything wrong. It has to be, it's a long gestation. Technology cannot be created. And for all those people who think that simply you can take the technology in Europe and put it here, that doesn't work. Our traffic conditions are different, our driving cycle is different, our fuel is different. So if you just take what is there and put it here, you could almost cause a fire. So I think the auto industry is saying only one thing: please give us a roadmap and have the fuel available. We will do whatever it requires, as fast as it requires, faster than any other country in the world. That's the automobile industry in India.
So the SIAM President and Director General sounding very optimistic and confident about not just this expo, but also the future for the auto industry and future expos. It is time for us to say goodbye as well. Thanks for joining us. Please wear your seatbelt. See you next week.